Dawson Rider Review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of TK Series 07, Kamen Rider Mach. So, there's a chance that this review is coming out before like the ones that previously released, but we'll see. But anyhow, just a very quick look at the packaging. The background got smushed in front of it when I put the box away, but who cares? You can see there's a little design back there. Here it shows you the signal changes that Mach comes with. Picture of Mach right there, it says 07. At the top shows you how he works, cool in-show shot of his helmet. On the back it shows you how he works, not actual lasers in the toy, but just imposes some signal changes. It shows you that his little helmet visor rises, which I'm showing right now. And then it advertises his bike and the fact that it is compatible with other TK series figures, and another shot of him right there. So pretty basic stuff. As for what he includes 3 of his signal changes. The one that is on him right now, which is just the default, and then these 2 right here. Shiny. So those are those 2, and those are those 2. Brilliant sentence. And then he does have a little version of the Zenrin shooter, which is pretty basically painted like these tend to be, but luckily Zenrin shooter is pretty basic, so they have the white here, and then I appreciate that they at least included the black plastic for the tire here. But otherwise nothing too special. I don't have my turntable today because I said so. But as you saw in the back of the box, and as you're seeing now, his visor does open and close like on the show, which I think is really neat. I'm glad that they included that with this. I think it looks good. Detail-wise, you kind of just got like a little shiny blue paint back there, but I think it looks pretty good. And then the clear plastic here of his helmet sort of enhances it. Mach's basic is pretty design. I mean, Mach's design is pretty basic. Wow, I'm doing really great in this review so far. So anyway, with his design being so basic, it's pretty hard to mess him up. So I think he's overall pretty solid looking detail-wise. I think they did a good job on his head sculpt. Like I said, I like this gimmick a lot. I think that it enhances each other well. And the main details on him are pretty basic because he's primarily white, which is various stripes on him, like the red here, blue down here, and the black. So overall, I think it looks fine. There's really not too much to write home about. It gets the job done. The driver is all one solid color. That's pretty standard. The back is pretty basic. But overall, while not like the most amazing details, like I said, because of his basic design, it kind of lends to being basic. You got the little scarf here as well, which comes out on a little ball joint, which has a little bit of red paint on it. But overall, I still think is a decent looking figure for sure. Articulation-wise, these are always pretty solid. You have a nice joint here, ball joint, hinge joint for a great all-around motion. He's putting up his helmet. He's like, whew, this is exhausting. You got a single elbow joint here. Got some swiveling. You have those little multi-jointed articulated hands, so you have the 2 hands grouped together like that. Hand can swivel. You got a nice joint here as well. Solid range of motion. Swiveling here as well. Single knee joint. Got a little ball joint on his foot. He can articulate at the waist here, just swivel around. His head's on a little ball joint. So you can pop that right off and just throw it to the side, so he just looks like a speed racer. But a nice little joint there. You get a little bit of up and down movement, swiveling around, stuff like that. Now we'll put this back on. At least I think we will. But yeah, these are very well articulated. I think I mentioned this in numerous reviews of this, and like arms change is kind of like somewhere right between a Power Rangers 5-inch figure and figuarts. And then the tire change gimmick obviously has the tire change gimmick, but he's got signal changes. You just pop it off. It's real easy. It works on the same port as the tires, so you can just switch that. Not nearly as exciting maybe as drives, but you can actually use drives on it. Here I have Max Flare. There's actually a picture of this one on the back, so I feel like it's unfortunate that I chose this one to do the demonstration with, but hey, you don't get to see a different one, but you can pretty much imagine what it would be like for the other ones. Now I gotta just waste time pulling all these out. But yeah, you can switch it out, which I don't think will happen in the show, because right now he's used whatchamacallits before, shift cars, and they just manifest in a power. Am I doing it the wrong way? Yeah, damn it, I am doing the right way the first time. Anyway, while I argue with myself, it just manifests in a power, and it doesn't, you know, actually put the tire on it. Who knows, we could see it in something. I don't want to say definitively it never happens, because as soon as I say that, it'll happen. But still, at least in the toy form, it's neat that you can do it. I'm just going to close this up now. And you can have some fun with that. I'm glad they made that compatible. I don't see why they wouldn't have, but still, and these can obviously, it's going to be a lot weirder and not really fit especially when you're trying to put the guy back together, but they have the same port as well to put on drive. But still, like I said, it's neat to be able to do that, even if it's pretty much probably never going to be done in the show in any form. It's just a neat thing to have there. But overall, this is a very solid figure. I can recommend it. I think it looks good on the shelf for a cheaper figure. You do get more fun with the tires if you want to add them onto him, even though I think the signal changes aren't nearly as fun. It's kind of weird now when I'm getting to like recommendations about these figures, because previously, you know, like with Wizard, at the time, the figuarts of the current season weren't that great in quality at the time. So I was like, hey, these are cheaper, they look pretty damn good, go for it. But last year with Gaim, it was a very interesting situation because the figuarts were excellent. So that recommendation didn't really stand. But then at the same time, the arms change figure, I stand by the fact that right now I think they were the most fun gimmick rider lines. So there was reason to buy both of them. Now in the case of Drive, I think all of the TK figures, this one included, have been very solid figures. So if you want to pick it up, I think it's a solid shelf piece, and you get a bit of fun with the tire change. But given the fact that right now, as of last year, the current rider figuarts have a good track record, and the pictures for these guys look good, I don't know what to say in terms of that. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on a Drive figuart just to see what it's like. That's a bit long-winded, but the bottom line is that if you really want a Mach figure now and you want something that might be a smidge cheaper, I can recommend this. But definitely keep an eye out for the figure art, just because, like I said, Gaim's figuarts were excellent last year, and if they're able to keep that up, then you know, there might not be a reason to necessarily get this unless you're really impatient or just don't care about figuarts. But as it stands right now, ignoring figuarts completely, I think it's a solid figure. I like it just fine. I think it's a good representation of Mach if you want it. But anyway, that about wraps it up. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.